First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
I take it very seriously. I mean, since these threats have started, we've known about them. You know, we've known about them before they became national news. We have a
With rising tensions since the election, Gainesville's Jewish community looks to double-check security in all sorts of settings, including schools. That's our top story. I'm Evan Moon.
And I'm Maggie Lorenz. Thank you for joining us. WUFT's Sarah Loyler joins us now with that story.
Yeah, I visited the Jewish Center today to see how things are looking up there. Already this year, 100 Jewish community centers have become the targets of violent threats. It's not just temples, but schools and cemeteries that may be more at risk. Bomb threats and vandalism at Jewish community centers and cemeteries around the nation are leading to increased security levels and procedures. At least 7 Jewish centers and schools in Florida have received bomb threats this year. At the B'nai Israel Community Preschool in Gainesville, the staff holds weekly meetings to make sure the children are safe from any possible threats.
These threats have started. We've known about them. You know, we've known about them before they became national news. We have a very interconnected network of Jewish communities, so we keep each other informed about what's going on.
Being a Jewish institution, there are already safety concerns. Key cards are used to access the inside of the school, and camera surveillance operates regularly. The school already has a good working relationship with local authorities who come out to the school's holiday events. After the vandalism at Jewish cemeteries in Philadelphia and St. Louis, the safety precautions at the B'nai Israel Cemetery are another story. Although the security at the B'nai Israel Day Center is closely monitored by GPD and ACSO, here at the Jewish Cemetery, there's nothing but high fences and padlocks to keep it safe. Located far from the preschool, the oldest Jewish cemetery in North Central Florida is still monitored by police. Detective Matt Gecko could not reveal any changes in patrolling at this time, but did say this is an operational security issue and they aren't wanting to put out there what they are doing, where, and when. Petrescu says she's happy the community is looking out for the school.
That we review what we're doing, we're secure in what we're doing, we feel comfortable with it, all staff knows what's happening. So we feel very good about it, even though in light of what's going on, we feel that we're safe.
For now, Petrescu feels comfortable with the facility's safety, and it's important to her that parents feel the same way. In his speech to Congress last night, President Trump noted recent vandalism and violence and said, quote, "We are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms."
Thank you, Sarah. With a cool down expected at the end of this week, the City of Gainesville is planning to activate its cold night shelter program. St. Francis House and Grace Marketplace will provide services to people in need of shelter as long as overnight temperatures remain below 45 degrees. St. Francis House provides temporary shelter for families, women, and children, while Grace Marketplace typically serves adults. Both locations will provide food, showers, and laundry.
But that cold snap is not quite here yet because we had more near record high temperatures today.
Yes, I can't believe it's the first day of March and It's so warm outside. WUFT's Brian Boggiano joins us in the Weather Center with the outlook for tonight.
Yes, in fact, we unofficially tied the record high temperature today in Gainesville at 87 degrees, which was set 20 years ago. And we do still have some very warm temperatures right now, relatively warm for this time of year. 86 degrees in Gainesville, 87 in Lake City, as well as 86 degrees in Ocala, and it'll only cool into the mid-60s as we go into this evening. We have a warm and muggy start, though, to your Thursday morning. We do have some patchy fog possible, especially before 9 a.m., but notice how the fog dissipates from northwest to southeast, and that's because the cold front moving through will bring in cool, dry air, replacing the warm and moist air. And I'll have more information on the cold front coming up next in my full forecast. Back to you.
Thank you, Brian. An old building in the town of Micanopy may get a major makeover.
And a pastor is hoping the community will rally behind the project. Austin Landis joins us now in the newsroom to tell us how the building could make an impact on Micanopy. Austin.
Well, ladies, the building sat empty for nearly 4 years before Pastor Chris Stokes purchased it about 2 months ago. Now the process of renovating the building is underway, and Pastor Stokes says he has high hopes for what it could become.
Just off Northwest 6th Avenue in Micanopy, this building sits empty.
It may not look like much now, but if you could only see what I see, what the end result is going to be.
Pastor Chris Stokes wants to turn this portable classroom building into a community center.
A place where they could come and a building that they could utilize. No, so we don't have anything like that.
The building would be a central place for meetings, fitness classes, and after-school tutoring.
A lot of the kids just hang out at the park. Some of them hang out outside of the library and play there for a while, but there's nowhere for them to go and be accounted for.
The room is fairly empty now, but soon it would be filled with things like computers and printers for both children and adults to use.
Another important service the center might provide, a community clinic.
A lot of our residents don't necessarily have health insurance, nor transportation, and so it's hard for them to get back and forth. And so if there was something in the community that they could walk to or get a ride to, that we would be able to provide services for them.
But Stokes can only make this a reality with plenty of help from his neighbors. From a Facebook post he made, several people already volunteered to help with construction, electric, and donations.
It would mean a lot for me, being born and raised here in Micanopy, and to see something that's not short term, but it'll be long term.
A long-term fixture for Micanopy and its residents right in their backyard.
Pastor Stokes plans to meet with community members this Saturday to talk about the support he needs to make the center a reality. He's asking for help from anyone who is willing and hopes to have the building up and running by August. Reporting live from the newsroom, Austin Landis, WUFT News.
Thank you, Austin. The Marion County Sheriff's Office is investigating an overnight shooting that killed a man in Silver Spring Shores. As deputies followed the trail, they went from a shot-up car to a place with a child home alone to learning the victim had been driven to the hospital. 26-year-old Jeffrey Aaron Jr. was pronounced dead at the Ocala Regional Medical Center. Aaron had a criminal record and was out on bail despite pending charges, including attempted murder. Anyone with information about the shooting is asked to contact the Marion County Sheriff's Office. And the man accused of killing an Orlando police officer and his pregnant ex-girlfriend was defiant in a court appearance this morning. Markeith Lloyd refused to enter a plea and did not answer some of the judge's questions. The judge entered a not guilty plea on his behalf, and against the court's urging, Lloyd has decided to represent himself. He faces 11 charges in connection with the two deaths.
A former Walmart employee is accused of stabbing a current employee to death at an Orlando store this morning. The stabbing was reported near a Walmart gas station where the victim, Davon Brown, was working. It's unknown what the argument between the two men was about, but Orange County deputies said they have identified the suspect and are searching for him. Today, reaction is pouring in after President Trump's first speech before Congress.
Many Republicans are praising his plans, but both sides are worried about the bottom line. NBC's Blaine Alexander has more from Washington.
So thank you very much. We're just here to start.
President Trump today meeting with leaders of his own party about how to turn his speech into a reality.
It begins as of now, and we think we're going to have tremendous success.
The meeting comes less than 24 hours after an address that struck a decidedly different tone from the president's usual style.
Everything that is broken in our country can be fixed.
Today, that softer approach is turning heads. Here in rural Ohio, signs of approval.
I thought it was very hopeful.
And I think folks, our elected folks, need to give him a chance.
A message to some on Capitol Hill who appear doubtful the president's plans can move beyond talk and questioning how we'll all pay for it.
A president who says one thing, but in reality just does another.
In his speech, the president touted his success on jobs.
For the construction of the Keystone and Dakota Access pipelines, thereby creating tens of thousands of jobs.
But we put that through a fact check, and in reality, that number is lower, 16,000 according to the State Department, and mostly temporary jobs. Other points raising questions, his unemployment numbers and plans to boost military funding. And on immigration reform,
I wish you would send over an immigration bill.
The president did not go as far as expected, an issue for many Republicans. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Washington.
After several delays, a revised travel ban is expected later this week.
One social media outlet may soon be using drones. Consumer News is up next.
Days of near record-breaking high temperatures, we could see a 15 to 20 degree cool down. Coming up, I'll tell you why it's going to cool down and when.